Hello, this is Bonnie, and today I'm going to start working on some Christmas cards. And I'm going to be using some stamps that are already in the Fairy Hugs line. And the first one I'm going to be using is, this one's actually reversed in my package, is called Snowy Fur. And I'm going to be using Solara, and I'm going to be using Condo Dwellers 2, and I'm going to be using this fairy right here. So one of the things I'm going to be doing today is I am going to be stamping these in a morning mist. It's going to be a light gray, and because I'm going to be doing some, it's not really no line coloring, it's going to be more of a grayscale coloring. And I made the mistake right then and there not to put my magnets down where they need to be. Let me get something to fix that in a minute. So if you forget to put your magnets down, handy dandy butter knife will make it stay put. All right, let's see if we can get that to be stamped correctly. I don't really want it really dark. I want it just medium. And this works really well if you can use a paper that's a little bit lighter weight in the back. Yeah, and I need to get that centerpiece a little bit better. I am using a Tim Holtz platform. This is my first time using the Tim Holtz platform. Well, yeah, I think for a video. And I usually don't have a problem, but right now I'm having a problem with the center of this stamp. And I don't know if it has something to do with usually underneath. And I can't, I'm used to using a MISTI, and I can bend it a little bit and it'll stamp, there we go, it'll stamp that center bit better. I'm just putting some ink in the center because I really don't want this to be too dark. But I need to get that center piece. I'm so used to having a thing that bends, and so I'm not getting that the way I want to. All right, so I'm going to be coloring that in, and that will work out fine for what I'm doing because I don't want it to get darker, so I can show you the technique. Hi, I'm just going to show you really quickly how I can stamp this Fairy Hugs Snowy Fur on a different platform and how it will stamp. I just wanted to let you know how that works. I will be using VersaFine Clear Morning Mist. All right, so the next thing I'm going to be using is Solara, and she's going to be standing on this bottom piece, and she's going to be looking like she is putting something on the tree, or going to be putting something on the tree. I'm going to lift her up a little way from that edge. Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm just adjusting myself to this new platform. Here we go. That little bit of an edge on her foot wasn't allowing me against this edge to be where I wanted her to be. All right. All right, I need to get these down here closer. Try that. No, she's not. There we go. Things aren't going as smoothly a minute for me. And that's good because you need to see how things work for real when you go to do your own stamping. If it's perfect, well, that's great. But things usually, when I go to do things, I usually have to do a little bit of adjusting. Unless I've made it several times, it's always a learning curve. She's a really, really pretty stamp, and she will be fun to color in. Yep, she's perfect. That's exactly what I want. I think you can see what I'm talking about. This is kind of like what I really wanted for that tree also, but with that little bit in the center, I had to stamp it a little bit more. But I'm going to fix that. It's really easy to do when I'm coloring because, like I said, it's like a no-line coloring, so it's not going to be a problem. The other thing I need to do really quickly, I need to find out where I set my little fairy. Where did I set my little fairy? Okay, I must have misplaced her. All right, like I said, this is what I would probably call a video with mistakes or with things going on. I might have dropped her. So I'm gonna go ahead and look for my little fairy and I'll be right back. Yay, I found my little fairy. She did fall on the floor when I moved my platform under, or my work surface underneath. So she is going to be the, you wanna call her the fairy on the top of the tree. And I just got to get her centered up there. And again, I am going to do her in the morning mist as well, because I am going to be coloring her in. She makes a perfect fairy for the top of a tree. All right, so we're all set up and ready to go. All right, I want to go ahead and show you that if for some reason you ever have issues, you can always use a marker of some sort to fill this in, but I am using a colored pencil to fill in these little bit of lines. And like I said, normally I don't have that problem, but all I have with me right now where I am filming is a Tim Holtz platform. And so I'm just gonna, just like anything else, I'm gonna adjust to what I have. And I'm coloring this in with a Prismacolor pencil. This one happens to be a warm gray and it's 1056. Works really well with the morning mist color. Now, my intention was to color this in green, but because, and I still can add a little bit of green to it, but because I had to stamp it several times to get this center piece, it's darker than what I had intended. I'll be able to show you what I'm talking about with the fairy. So that filled that part in perfectly. And if I could even make that a little bit darker if I want to. But I think what I'm going to do is still add a little bit of green close to where you can see the, this is to be snow because it is a snowy fur. I am going to still add a little bit of green to this. I think I need to sharpen my pencil. It makes a big difference. If you have a sharp pencil, you can actually control where you want to color a little bit better. But like I said, I'm going to add some of this green, but I think I need a little bit. I'm going to start with this color. This color actually is called, let me see, the glare has got me. Green, I guess that says green light. And this is number 120. Anyway, this is not a whole lot of what I wanted to show you, but again, I want to get that green color in there, and I am going to just be going around it instead of on it like a grayscale. I am going to do that with the fairy, but I'm just showing you a little bit of this first, and then we'll go with the fairy. So I'm going to use another color green that is a little bit, has a little bit more color, and this one is a grass green, and it is 909. You can see by the colors, whatever pencils you have, just go with a lighter and a darker, and it should work fine. This is just going to give me a little bit of color throughout, and I still want, like I said, to keep the snowy look. So I'm just going a little bit on the outside of this. And you can see the color. So the color will be with the snow. So I'm going to be doing that all the way around the tree. So the next thing I wanted to show you, like I said, really is the fairy. And I'm going to start out with a darker red, and this is Crimson Lake, and it's 925. And I'm going to start down here at the bottom. I am going to add a little bit of white to the bottom to make it look more of like a Santa outfit. But right now, I'm giving her a little bit of shading. And there's a couple places here where you can see how there is wrinkles in her outfit. But like I said, I'm going to put the little bit of shading in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add and I'm going to say that this is a sleeve. It doesn't have to be, but I'm going to use it as a sleeve because she's got some lines here. Those can either be jewelry or it can be her end of her sleeve. So it's just like I said, I'm just doing a little bit of shading. Okay, so then I want to go with the next color that would be a little bit lighter. And that's going to be Poppy Red, and this is 922. I am not coloring over the white lines that are in here. I'm just going to keep those as the highlights. This really doesn't take very long to color. Like I said, just make sure you have a sharp pencil lead. All right, so the next color I'm going to use is going to be a pink. And the pink is going to be, my pencils are getting small. This is Rose, and it's 929. This one definitely needs to be sharpened. I use it a lot, and that's why I needed to sharpen it. Okay. So, that should work pretty well, blending it in for us. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to see how my white pencil works. And if my white pencil does not work well, we are going to go with a white, it's like a white gel pen. Because I want a little bit of fluffy down here. That seems to be working. But I think I am still going to add, I might add a little bit of highlights with the white gel pen. You can see how that works also. I'm going to do a little bit up here on her cuff and around her neck. Okay, so I'll probably add a little bit of the white gel pen. I'll need to get that in just a second. And now I'm going to work on her hair. And I am going to use a yellow, I think, for this one. And I'm trying to see, I don't want it to be too orangey. So let's go, we're going to go with the, I think I need new glasses, Canary Yellow. And this is 916. And again, I need to get that one sharpened. Okay, especially for the hair, because as you can see, it's going to be a little bit more detailed. Whoops. Sorry that you have to wait there a minute. Okay. Get more of a pointy lid. Okay. I'm not doing any shading on this one because it's too tiny. And I think I probably could have used a brighter one, but I think you can see that. It's very subtle, and like I said, because she's a little bit more detailed, I'm not putting a lot in her hair. But I could really highlight that a tiny bit. It's really pretty easy to do this part. But I think I am going to add a little bit of a darker bit to it. And I'm going to be using my tiniest pencil. And I don't even know what this one is originally, but it's 1032. And I'm just going to shade that bit. Like the parts that look like they are lower. Just to give it a little bit of dimension. I think that works. All right, now for the fun part, which is the fairy's wings. And in this case, I am going to go with a blue and to start with. And this one is, oh dear, I think I'm going to have to, non-photo blue, and it is 919. All right, so on the insides, I usually color my fairy wings no matter what anyway. And we're going to say this part behind her is part of her wing. So this is just a way that I color my wings. Sometimes I'm more detailed depending on the sections and what I want to do. So like I said, okay, the next color up I would use would be, let's see here, I want to do a lighter color, I think. Well, I want to kind of like make it kind of blend in better, I think, with this background. So I'm going to go with the light aqua, and it is 992. Because this has a little bit of an aqua to it and a gray, but I want to complement it, so it's got to be a little bit brighter. So let's go that way. It's very similar to the one I just used, but I like mixing aqua and blue. And I think aqua goes really well at Christmas. Yeah. It's still going to need a little bit of shading. But let's get this all colored in first. Okay, so the next color I'm going to use, which is my favorite pencil, this is my second one I have, is powder blue, and it's 1087. It colors in, it really blends in colors really well. But we're still going to have to do some shading. Okay, that pencil usually blends pretty well, the colors you already have. All right, so I need to come up with a darker, and the darker one is going to be electric blue, and that's 1040. So we're going to go where you would do some shading. Okay, the electric blue is a little bit lighter than what I want. So we're going to go with Copenhagen blue. You can always test things out in a little spot, and if it doesn't work, you go with the next one. And that's what I needed to do. All right, so I'm coming back in again with my light aqua, and I am going to be blending that a little bit better. This is really not, if you do Copic coloring or any other kind of coloring, the concept to me is the same. It's just knowing how your pencils or whatever you use blends and how they work together. It's just a matter of learning how those colors work. But you can do the same concept with your Copics. Just think of your aquas and your blues together, and it'll work. You're going to have to use you'll have to use a different ink to stamp if you do your Copics. All right, so I'm going to come back in with my powder blue just for one last time to blend that. And then my wings, other than adding a little bit of glitter, will be done. And then we're going to go work on this teeny tiny fairy at the top of the tree. But I want you to see, I really want you to see how well that works. You can color those in, and they can be really pretty. I can see how I need to add, like I said, the white gel pen. So let's go ahead and work on her. And again, very important for this, for that fairy to, for your pencils rather, to be sharp, because this is super tiny. Let me get a little closer, because she is super tiny. Okay, I wish I didn't have my shadows, but it is a cloudy, rainy day. One more thing to have to adapt to when you do videos. So she's got her little pink outfit on, and I'm going to give her little, I want to give her some yellow wings, I think. because it's mostly going to be just glitter. She's super easy. I think I'm going to add a little bit of shading though to her by adding a little bit of red to her outfit to the side. It's not that easy to see. I'll put it up a little bit closer to show you. And then I'm going to add the a little bit to her wings. And this is just the orange. I don't know what this is, like I said, because it's so tiny. Okay, that gave her a little bit of a shading. You can get more detailed when you go to do this, if you want to. I was just doing it a little bit simply, even though it's taking a little bit of time. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and get I want to show you the paint that I use for my glitter. Okay, so let's see if I can get that underneath there. Yes, this is what I use. It's called Folk Art, and it's extreme glitter, and it is, I believe it's just hologram. I was looking for the name of it. Yes, it is just hologram. So this works really well for me. I know a lot of people have pens and pencils and all that. This I've had for a really long time. It doesn't dry up, it doesn't clog, and so I really like it. And all I do is I use the cap. It's really, really pretty. I don't know if you can see. It's got a green cast. So all I do is I just go over the wings. It is water-based. So if you use anything like a gel pen and you put this on top, it will make your gel pen bleed. So I've learned that from experience. So you might want to think about that, to add your gel pen after, if you want to add a gel pen. Because I do usually add a little bit of gold gel pen to my wings, so I have to wait until this dries. You can already see the glitter in this picture. And you also need to be careful too if you use any type of inkjet digital paper too, if by chance you do, anything that is water-based will react. And sometimes it's a cool reaction, sometimes you don't want it. Okay, so I've got that all colored up in terms of the glitter, and you can see it's still a little bit wet, but it'll be really pretty when it's finished. There. And then also for the angel on top, excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and work on the tree next, and I'm just going to color around the green so you can see what it looks like, but I won't do it on as I'm doing the filming, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. One last thing I want to show you in this video is I'm going to be adding some glitter to the tree. And I'm going to be using Mod Podge Dimensional Magic, but you can also use glossy accents. And all I'm going to do is go through and put the glossy accents in all the white spaces. There'll be the open spaces that you will have when you stamp this tree. And then I'm going to be using Fairy Hugs glitter to highlight this tree. The other thing I did while I was off, wasn't taping, is I used a pencil to color in the skin lightly on the fairy. And I'll show you which pencil I used in just 1 second. wanted to quickly, this actually looks nice, just highlighted with the Mod Podge or your glossy accents. It gives it a little bit of shine and dimension. Okay, so I've got that done. What I'm going to be using is Pixie Dust Confetti, and it's a little bit chunkier than the regular Fairy Hugs. There's two different pixie dusts, and this one, well, you can see, is just beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful glitter, and I'm just going to be putting that all over the top of this tree. Okay. And you can just see, look how beautiful. It makes a wonderful, wonderful Christmas tree. Yep, and then she looks really nice. And the skin that I used, the skin pencil rather, is a peach, and that's $9.39. And you can see how she's got a little bit of color to her now too. So the next thing I'm going to do, which I'll do that off screen, is I am going to go ahead and finish up the card so that it's not just this, but this is what I wanted to share with you in terms of making the card. I'll probably add a little bit more stamps to it, and she's going to be holding something, and again, you will see that because I will take a photo of this card when it's finished, and it'll be at the beginning of the video. I appreciate you stopping by, and we're going to have some new design team members on Fairy Hug or Fairy Stamper, and I can't wait for you to see what they are going to be creating. So please, please stop by. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to have a lot more tutorials for you. So again, like I said, thanks for stopping by, and don't forget, we are also on Facebook, Fairy Stamper Hugs, and we would love for you to come and share your projects with us. So I hope you have a great day, and don't forget, all of the supplies I use will be down in the description box.